Hey guys, what's going on? I hope everybody's doing good today, and thanks for tuning back into the channel. And as you can see today, we're out here on the lake swimming a little bit. Got us down at Table Rock Lake. Everybody's enjoying the day out, and I definitely want to take the opportunity to continue putting out fishing tips. So when we're at this cove that they're fishing right here, you can see right here it's got some really nice gravel banks on it, you know, just sort of like the Pea-Gravel, very small rock but basically flatter Pea-Gravel banks. And today's tip is I want to talk a little bit, give you guys some tips on fishing these gravelly type banks like you see behind me here. So gravel banks, the reason I like them more than anything is they're one of the most overlooked type of bank structures on a lake, because a lot of times they're just sort of nondescript. There's not much to them like that, so they get overlooked a lot. And from that standpoint is why I really like them. So a couple different things I'm gonna tell you guys as far as gravel banks. There's a couple different situations that you have to really determine to know when to fish them and how to fish them. And a lot of it, or almost all of it, is based upon the water temperature and the water clarity that you're fishing. Now, I'll just go through the 4 seasons real quick, that type of thing. Number one, I'll tell you right off the bat, I fish them all year long, because just because the banks are flat and just because you have some gravel banks like this, it doesn't mean the bank's flat all the way out. Sometimes the banks will flatten out a little bit and they come off and drop off real sharp. Other times they run right way out into the lake. So it just depends on the angle of the bank and the proximity that they are to deeper water. So the thing starting out, like I said, in the winter time of year, it's one of my favorite type of areas to fish a jerkbait in. These Pea-Gravel banks. If I get into the little bit clear water on the lake, I like to get the boat out in 20-25 feet of water, make long casts to the bank, and just sort of, you know, cast straight into him and basically target. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Had to put out a little argument over a stick there. So anyway, back to what we're talking about, wintertime on these banks. One of my favorite wintertime techniques is to find the cleanest water I can in the lake, get in 20-25 feet of water, and basically work through these flatter gravel banks, any type of little secondary subtle points with a jerk bait and a swim bait. That's a really good way to catch them. Now, as you move up into the springtime of the year, these are also really good, because what I'm looking for here is I'm still looking for the flatter gravel banks, but I'm moving back into the coves, sort of like the back 2/3 to all the way back, looking for those fish to get ready to start moving up to spawn. You know, a lot of times they like to bed around this stuff, even you know, especially if you got any type of isolated object in the water. So they're really good in the springtime of the year and in the post spawn. It's one of my favorite type of areas, you know, to throw like a chugger or a floating worm back in these flatter pockets. Summertime of the year, the same deal. You know, one of the best techniques that I've ever found for post spawn summertime fishing is find these gravel banks sort of more up in the river arms, more in the river sections. You know, where you have a little bit more off-colored water, and basically find the areas where the flat breaks off between 6 to 12 foot and throw a crankbait on those edges. And that can be really good during the summertime months, particularly like in June or the post spawn. But my favorite time to fish them, guys, is like right now in the fall time of the year, or the early fall, late summer, early fall, up until when that water temperature starts dropping back, you know, colder in November. These type of areas right here, these flat banks, whether it be on the main lake or in the coves, is one of the best areas that you can fish with a topwater lure. You can fish a walking topwater, buzzbait, you know, horny toad, anything like that. I like to get on these vast flat banks. It doesn't really matter, main lake, coves, it could be points, it could be back ends, whatever. But these fish are isolated. They're still feeding on some spawning perch in here, and just covering water with a topwater lure is a great way to catch them. So anyway, going to get back to it here, a little bit of swimming here in Table Rock Lake. You can see people are out enjoying it here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this quick tip, and we'll talk to you later. See you.